So far, the creep owed her a new car and a picture window. When they plunged the needle in his arm during the lethal injection sentence, she'd consider both paid in full.
Maddie, what is going on in that head of yours?
Kennedy asked.
That wrinkle on your forehead is unattractive. Stop that. Whatever it is, we can find a way around it.
I think I know how I helped the second woman today. I need Brian, but I don't have his telephone number.
Is that all?
Kennedy pulled out her cell phone and flipped open the top, revealing a tiny keyboard beneath it. She pressed a few keys and put the phone up to her ear. After a few seconds, she began to speak.
Hi, mystery man. This is the cousin calling you back. We require your assistance. Tell Andrew to come back too, because Maddie makes horrible coffee and could probably use a few answers.
She hung up as soon as she finished speaking. Madison wondered if Brian got a word in edgewise.
There. They'll be here soon.
Why did you tell him to bring Andrew? It didn't bother her, but she still wanted to know Kennedy's reasoning behind it.
I like Andrew, and if he is your father, you need to deal with it. Suck it up and ask him the questions that need answered.
I love how comforting you can be at times.
It's true and you know it. Best to get it over with when everything is going to shit anyway. Why wait till things are improving just to muck it up with some overdue emotional tear-jerking to visit ancient history?
Madison loved how Kennedy cut through all the red tape of life and went right to the heart of any issue. She never put anything off, never did tomorrow what could be done that day. She grabbed life by the horns, and it made Madison a little envious. So, what do you know about dream hunters? That's what Brian called me.
I didn't find much, thank God for Google and smartphones. Let's see what we find.
Kennedy's fingers flew over the keys of her telephone. After a few moments, Kennedy began to speak again.
Elite warriors who protect evils stalking innocents.
Madison thought on that for a moment. It sounded surreal, but part of her wanted to know more, to learn more. It was one thing to be a woman with strange dreams, yet another reason to drive her parents away from her. Where would you get training for something like that? Somehow I don't think they teach that in college.
Nothing about training. Not like there's a 1-800 monk service for supernatural powers.
Both women sat down on the plush love seat overrun with pillows. Madison sighed. She knew it sounded too good to be true.
Perhaps we can assist with that.
Madison jumped at the sound of the deep male voice that flowed around her living room. There, in the arched opening of the living room, stood three of the most beautiful men she'd ever seen with Andrew and Brian.
Good God, where did you five come from?
Kennedy shrieked,
You called, I came.
said Brian.
They came with me.
Ah, you must be Brian.
Then you must be Kennedy.
He said.
Guilty as charged.
She said with a smile. Was she flirting with him? Madison couldn't believe the thought that raced through her head. Kennedy always smiled at people. Men, women, and children all loved her. Madison didn't want to feel jealous at all, let alone over a smile that could have been toward anyone.
And you are?
Kennedy said, looking toward Andrew.
Hello again, Kennedy. My name is Uriel, but you may still call me Andrew if it suits you.
Kennedy stood and walked toward the man who had taken care of Madison for so long. She embraced him by wrapping her arms around him. Madison thought Kennedy might have whispered something in his ear, but she couldn't tell from her position on the sofa.
These are the archangels Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael.
Brian said. Kennedy rejoined Madison before she spoke.
Wait, so Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. Wow, not just any old angels. The God Squad.
So much personality, so little tact.
I like that. The God Squad.
Can we get t-shirts made?
One of the newest additions to her living room asked. She couldn't be sure which one he was. Her comfort zone had been stretched so far beyond its limits. She no longer knew how to function with all the changes that had been brought about in less than 24 hours.
So, you really are the archangels?
She asked.
I have a feeling I could say yes, and you would still require proof.
The blonde Adonis said. He spoke with such a potent voice, it oozed with comfort and a soothing quality that could have put her to sleep. I require nothing to prove who you are. I'm only trying to understand why there are 4 men who claim to be angels in my living room.
5.
He corrected.
5?
She repeated.
Brian is also an angel.
Of course he is. Madison said with a sigh.
Well, I'm not really. Not anymore. I was cast out of the heavens about 5 years ago.
Madison thought that was about the same as saying since she chose to wear pants, she was no longer female. You can't change who you are at birth because of how you live your life. You are what you are. She retorted. Not entirely sure why, but for some reason the knowledge that Brian was an angel angered her. She knew there was something different about him, but turning out to be the same type of creature that Andrew was created a conflict she wasn't sure she could define.
Why don't any of you have wings?
As if they expected her question, the sound of ripping fabric filled the momentary pause in conversation. All 5 men stood with giant white outstretched wings, the most incredible sight she'd ever had the pleasure of viewing. She bowed her head in shame for even a moment's doubt. The beauty of the brilliant white billowing feathers made her want to cry.
Can I touch them?
Kennedy asked the question Madison would never have voiced.
We haven't even had dinner yet.
Name's Gabriel, and you can touch me anywhere.
He said with a wink.
Sorry, buddy, you aren't my type. Weren't your wings that I wanted to touch?
Madison noticed that her attention was on the angel that hadn't spoken yet. Madison needed to collect her thoughts. Her stranger at the gym turned out to be an angel. The father she had for the past 30 years had possibly lied or been lied to about her parentage. Her mother. Oh, when she saw her mother again, she'd tell her a thing or two about honesty. She didn't even know who she was anymore. It felt as though someone took away her identity when she needed it the most. Then, as if the fortune didn't rain on her parade enough, a serial killer opted to pick this week to make her the target.